What's up, men? As most of us know, at 34 degrees, it is the correct temperature for it to be raining outside. Now, when it turns 32 degrees, that rain becomes snow outside. Those two differences in temperatures outside is called a tipping point in weather. That phrase, tipping point, has a lot of meaning behind it. And compared to ourselves, it has a lot of meaning behind that as well. Guys, today we are going to discuss tipping points and how it releases our genuine selves. Before we get into it, if you're having a good day, leave a like on this video, comment below, let me know how life's going for you. So sometimes, some of us have what is known as pent-up emotions. Trapped emotions in our head, basically. And so sometimes it comes from avoiding fear, avoiding certain activities because of fear of the outcome of that activity. So we tend to avoid completely doing those certain activities throughout our day. Staying quiet when you actually have a lot to say, avoiding social gatherings because of fear of being judged, hanging out with the same assholes who constantly bail on your plans, and whenever you hang out with them, it almost kind of feels like that they think they're doing you a favor, and taking verbal abuse like you actually deserve to take it, like you're actually doing something wrong. The only thing that is wrong is you believing all that bullcrap, you not being aware of your true self and not being aware of what is actually going on around you. Fear is a powerful thing, but only if you let it, because fear is just only a thought. It's non-existent, and that's exactly how you defeat that fear, is through your thoughts. Using your correct thoughts, your true self, to tip that fear over into non-existence. Your tipping point. So my dad actually told me a cool story about him when he went on a trip to Lake Mead in Las Vegas with my uncle. They were climbing rocks and jumping off of them into the water, and they came across a rock that they said it was close to about 60 foot tall. And they said when they got up on it, it was just so tall that they were kind of scared to jump off of it. But they looked back at how they got up there, and it was more treacherous to get down from the rock than to just jump off of it. So they just jumped. And then after they jumped, they just both looked at each other and they're just like, all right, let's just do it 3 more times and we'll go. Now, what my dad and my uncle did in that story is exactly what our minds do when it goes through a tipping point. So when we're going about our normal realities and fear starts to set in, we will tend to avoid it sometimes, not knowing that avoiding the fear is a lot more dangerous than just facing it. But once it's ultimately faced, a weight is just lifted out of you. You feel almost kind of giddy, you laugh a little almost, and then you just end up facing it again and again, just until you realize that I'm never going to go back to that fear anyways. It's just non-existent. Because you recognize on how damaging the path that fear is leading you down, you will tip forward away from that fear. And as that fear just becomes non-existent, it becomes non-existent because you realize what the fear really is. It's just a silly thought. You move on from it. You're aware of what actually is going on right now. And because of that awareness, you just feel enjoyment, just a sense of enjoyment all around. So me personally, I'm a firm believer that anyone out there who has built up tension of fear or avoidance of fear in their life right now can or will achieve a tipping point in their lifetime. The pendulum eventually swings in the opposite direction. So once that tipping point is tipped, you just feel a sense of awareness. You feel your reality around you. You're just so aware of everything around you. And you just feel such clarity. Everything's just running so smoothly because everything around you is just aware now. You see everything as it is. And to remain and maintain that sense of awareness that is brought about from overcoming your fear and keep you tipping forward away from the fear so it doesn't resurf, you have to have responsibility. One of my favorite authors, if not my favorite author, Dr. Wayne W. Dyer, explained responsibility as responding ability in one of his speaking seminars. So let's say you have a significant other that is coming home from work and you see them very mad, steaming, just such a force of anger. You can just so blatantly, you can just see it. What you do is you use your responsibility. You respond to your abilities. You do not make their problems your problems and feed into it, because if you do, it will become your problem. What you do is you just look at them and be like, oh, you look like you've had a horrible day. Oh no, let me take care of that for you. No, I got it. Sit down, relax. No, tell me about it. Tell me about everything. So now Wayne explains the opposite as response disability, as in responding to your disabilities. So instead of reacting with your significant other being mad, as in, okay, I'm seeing that she's mad, I'm very aware of that, I'm not mad, that is not my problem, I'm going to do as much as I can so I do not get mad because she is mad, because I'm not mad. That is not my problem. You respond a lot differently. You make it your problem. And the problem with that is fear and anger go aligned very, very closely. Fear is very aligned with anger. Anger is very aligned with fear. So if you become angry, that fear will resurface, and your tipping point is just gone. Every choice that you've made in your life so far has determined what you are in this exact moment right now. And a tipping point is when fear is added into those choices throughout your life, consistently on and again, until that small voice of resistance starts to scream at you to get it the fuck out of your head. And once that fear is tipped, you resurface yourself. It's almost like that fear is drowning you underwater, and then once you tip it, you're resurfacing to the surface to breathe fresh air. Your just sense of reality is just so aware. You see everything around you. It's such clarity. Everything's going so smoothly. You can just run circles around that fear because it's not existent anymore. It just doesn't exist. And you tip your life into a better point. To quote Henry David Thoreau, I know of no more encouraging fact than the unquestionable ability of man to alleviate his life by a conscious endeavor. Guys, if you're feeling aware enough, hit that subscribe button and share button below. Thank you. You guys are going to have a great day.